everybody. Okay, let's get to the jokes. Presidential candidate RFK Jr. claims that a while back, a worm ate part of his brain. True, which led to memory problems. When reached for comment, the worm said he was just trying to level the playing field. I kid, that's something Joe Biden will never have to worry about. A brain. According to Stormy Daniels' testimony yesterday, she spanked Donald Trump with a Forbes magazine in a secret hotel rendezvous. Steve Forbes claims that counts as him having sex. But Forbes magazine denies this, saying it's all just a rumor. But hey, we're getting it straight from the horse's mouth. In a related story, in court, Trump has been holding up one of Stormy's shoes for good luck. Due to a rise in youth crime, the makers of the Swiss Army knife are offering a new version without a blade. I know, a Swiss Army knife without a knife. So now we're transitioning knives. What's a Swiss Army knife without a knife? You're left with tweezers, a nail file, a toothpick. Why not just rename it Swiss Army bottom of a handbag? You're called Swiss Army knife. Knife is in the name. If you have the name of the thing in the title, you can't get rid of it. What's next? Swiss cheese? What are you going to just sell us, the holes? The launch of Boeing's Starliner spacecraft bound for the International Space Station was scrubbed on Monday. Apparently, Boeing wants to focus on what it does best, killing whistleblowers. Earth, Wind, and Fire member Philip Bailey is 73 today. I don't want to say Philip is getting old, but he wants to change the band's name to Earth, Wind, Fire, and Balance of Nature. Citing consumer health concerns, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has signed a ban on lab-grown meat. That's just great. Now, where will Jesse vacation? After weird interactions with ballplayer Caitlin Clark, a veteran sports columnist has been banned from attending WNBA games, surprising many as they expected him to be punished. Thank you. Thank you. And finally, Whoopi Goldberg says she's done with relationships, and all her sex now is strictly hit and run. Well, unless the other guy sees her first, then it's just run. All right, monologue. Trump notches a win as libs sit and spin. A federal judge has postponed Trump's classified records trial indefinitely. It was supposed to start later this month, but like my vacation plans with Kristi Noem, that ain't happening. You remember that case, the sham trial stemming from the classified records investigation cooked up by Jack Smith? The trial should have started May 20th, but due to the myriad and interconnected pretrial issues, Judge Aileen Cannon put the whole damn thing on hold. Translation, the case is imploding faster than my butt implants when scuba diving.
Yeah, that would happen.
It would.
Yeah.
And our instincts as to why are correct. The judge's decision to postpone the trial comes just days after Jack Smith's own prosecutors admitted that evidence was rearranged after the FBI's raid on Mar-a-Lago back in August 2022. Said the feds, quote, there are some boxes where the order of items within that box is not the same as in the associated scans. The government acknowledges that this is inconsistent with what government counsel previously understood and represented to the court. That's a lot of words for saying we up. Even former Obama Attorney General Eric Holder admits the whole process has simply not been on the up and up. And that's coming from a Democrat who looks like Howard Sprague. And here's a revelation. The infamous crime scene photo of the raid may be more doctored than Jill Biden's education.
What?
Think about it. They admitted as much in a recent court filing. Remember, it's the picture the liberal media shoved down our throats. All the classified papers laid out neatly on the beautiful, expensive Trump carpeting, documents labeled top secret with distinct classification levels showing just how evil and conniving the big orange Godzilla really was to hoard such top secret materials. The only thing is those papers labeled top secret were cover sheets they simply slapped on there for the photo op. Yeah, top secret cover sheets. What is this, Get Smart? Hey guys, we don't want people to read this. Better put top secret on it. Yeah, while we're at it, be sure and put don't peek awesome toy inside on your kids' Christmas gifts. As Julie Kelly with Declassified was first to report, the court filings conclusively demonstrate that the government used cover sheets to deceive the public as well as the court. The photo was a stunt and one that adds more fuel to this dumpster fire case. True, it was more staged than a Kilmeade book signing. So once again, it's Team Biden lying to the American people to imprison his chief rival, because if you can't beat him, put him behind bars. But of course, there's no fooling the New York Times. They published this piece just days after the raid, quote, how the picture of top secret folders at Mar-a-Lago came about. Yeah, it was just one of the dozens of left-wing headlines touting the authenticity of a photo that was about as legitimate as those pills I ordered from Canada. I actually got shorter. Now, I didn't go to law school, but I know evidence tampering when I see it. It's how I framed OJ.
About damn time.
Yes. Of course, as predicted, the Trump-dependent media is melting down over the trial's indefinite delay.
It's crazy. It's crazy. A 12-year-old that went with her mother to take a kid to court day, like as a lawyer or something, would have come up with a better ruling than she's come up with. It's bizarre. I guess she's either ill-equipped, extraordinarily ill-equipped, or she just doesn't care what the world thinks of her. She's right now looking like everything she's doing to help Donald Trump.
Oh, God forbid. There's some honesty right there at the end. He's not mad over the alleged tampering. He's mad that the defendant may be helped by the ruling. Now, a normal person would be outraged that the government may be framing an American citizen, but in Joe's mind, the outrage is that this citizen might get justice. Piece of advice, Joe, when you start rooting for the law to get away with bad things, you might be the bad guy. Morning Joe has now become the Bonnie and Clyde of insufferable dip. So, while that Florida trial is put on ice, the hush money trial in New York took its scheduled weekly break today. So what are all the players up to? Well, Stormy Daniels took the day off to hit the beach.
It's a beautiful paint horse you just besmirched.
And here's what the judge was up to. Yeah. Meanwhile, here's Trump. See, it seems nothing can get Orange Godzilla down. Every cockamamie crime, every faux felony, every trumped-up charge. Meanwhile, Biden's being hidden in a crate by the Ark of the Covenant. But it's all starting to unravel, just like the plot of a Stormy Daniels movie. Why would there be 4 pizza delivery guys? So you notice a trend here? They told us the laptop was fake, but this photo was real. They told us spying on the Trumps was fake, but Russian collusion was real. They told us inflation was fake, but those job numbers were real. How come the lies only go one way? To help one guy and hurt the other? And we're supposed to be too dumb to notice? Well, maybe if you're Morning Joe. Let's welcome tonight's guest! He's the one guest we couldn't pass over. Host of the Ben Shapiro Show, Ben Shapiro. He looks like he spends a lot of time in police lineups. Comedian Jim Florentine. Her exes say she's the one that got away with their silverware. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Kat Tiff. And his Crocs are actual crocodiles. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA world champion Tyrus. Ben, welcome to the show. I think people forget that you actually are a lawyer. Like, not only are you a wildly successful podcaster, when did you graduate from law school?
2007.
Yeah, how old were you?
I was 23.
Yeah, see. Well, you beat me by a couple years. I didn't go to law school, in case you didn't get that joke. All right. What do you make of these developments in the last day, the delayed case and what's going down with Stormy Daniels?
Well, I mean, with the delayed case, I haven't seen Democrats this upset about a delay since Hunter Biden's drug dealer was late. but I mean, the case is a mess. They have to hash out all of the classified materials, what they can actually see, what anyone is allowed to see. And so the delay makes perfect sense. Usually it's the defendant who's the one demanding a speedy trial. So when it turns out that he is not, in fact, demanding a speedy trial, then that doesn't become as much of a concern for the court.
Right.
And obviously, Donald Trump wants this thing pushed beyond the election. He's had a really good week in court, despite the fact that, obviously, Stormy Daniels was testifying about all sorts of unpleasant things.
Right, exactly. Nothing from that Stormy Daniels testimony was that interesting to me. I mean, like separate bedrooms? Who doesn't do that, Jim, huh?
Of course. I mean, that's why my marriage didn't work, I guess.
Yes.
No, first of all, the government with these documents, they basically use props.
Right.
If you think about it, that's how desperate they are. That's like a comedian. When a comedian isn't getting laughs, then he resorts to props to get laughs. Yeah. So basically, like the head of the FBI is Carrot Top.
How dare you besmirch Carrot Top?
I like Carrot Top, but I'm saying they actually use props.
Yes.
That's how bad they were.
Yes.
But I like how they faked the photo the old-fashioned way and use AI.
Yeah.
You know, they actually printed it out and go put it around the document.
Yeah. Why? I don't understand a thing that says top secret and you put it. I mean, seriously, that would just make everybody look at it.
You kind of answered your own question there, Gutfeld. It's made for TV.
Yeah.
This whole thing is made for TV. They're not interested in actual. They wanted everyone to see a picture of top secret. This is all the evidence we have. Just like the court thing isn't about the actual. We still aren't sure what he's tried with. You know what I'm saying? I didn't pass the bar, but you better tell me what I'm in before I show up in court. I'm not showing up until I know exactly what I'm being charged with. I don't need any of those surprises. And so that's what's going on right now. But it's all for what? The name.
Yeah.
Convicted felon. It's the trial. It's for the media. All these investigations are for the media. They need well, that's not good enough. The people need to see top secret. They need to see Russian dissolution. It's all for the media because they're not going to win on the debate stand because there will be no debate because why would the president besmirch, since we're using that word so freely today, would besmirch the name of the president by doing what? Debating a what? Convicted felon. So this is all part of the thing. This is all the media. The only problem is that someone has to start writing a script for Joe Scarborough. He is horrible at his job. He's so bad. Like, that's just...
You know, it's like a 12-year-old.
Why does that pop in your mind first, Joe? Like, there's some other questions we should be asking.
You know, Kat, what did you gain from this? You know what reminded me of the top secret thing? At that time that you put private on your dream journal, and I read it anyway.
He did. But once you realized you weren't in it, you were devastated.
Yes, I was.
This actually taught me something, well, actually, it reminded me of something that I've always known and that actually was instilled in me from a very young age, which is never, ever let the FBI come between you and the ones you love. Yes. One other person was raised a similar way. Because this is more than just what's going on in court, right? This is also what's going on in this country where things like this photo were tearing people apart, where if you don't look at this. How could you still vote this way or support this person? And then you have the other person becomes irredeemable to you. And people are fighting in real life over things that government bureaucracies, narratives, like whether it's this or whether it's what happened for years during COVID. And I would love to see everybody kind of say, okay, let's wake up and realize that this is the problem. And at the very least, we shouldn't let it tear the rest of us apart.
That is a great way to end this segment. Very astute. Very astute.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.